Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to Team Eagle's regular Monday night Zoom. We join you tonight from the beautiful mountains of Colorado. You know, they say that people move here for the winters, but they stay because of the summers. I'm sure that's absolutely true. The weather is perfect, and life is good. So, as most of you already know, we are Mick and Jenny Daly, National Marketing Directors in your support line. We've been with this wonderful company for, 28 years, something like that. And it's been a wonderful ride. It wasn't always easy, but we had our goals. We didn't quit. We knew that NMD was where we wanted to be, and it took us nearly 5 years to get there, but that's okay. And it was absolutely worth it. As I said, life is great. We live here very close to both our married sons and our 7 grandchildren. And I tell you, not many people of our age have the financial freedom and the time freedom to choose to do that. So enough about us. Mick, update us on the weekly contest.
Okay, here we go. So, as I said in our Facebook group, it's good to see some familiar faces, names rather, and good to see some new names. And heading the list is Ali Sexton, who got her 5 orders, completed her HLP promotion, and sponsored her first team member in her first 5 days. Now that's what I'm talking about. That is really good stuff. And Ali is in her 20s. She is a Gen Y, millennial. And without spending any more time on that, let me just pick up on the fact that we are just delighted that we're having so many young folks joining Team Eagles. And for that very reason, this coming Sunday, and I do mean Sunday, we're bringing our Team Eagles Zoom, weekly Zoom, forward by 24 hours. Why would we do that? Well, because I want us to meet and get to know one of the new national marketing directors who was on stage in Phoenix. Her name is Kristen Hilmer. She is 27, 28. I'll know before Sunday. She lives and has built her business almost in our old hometown here, up in the high Rocky Mountains, a town called Carbondale. And she has just a phenomenal story, and she will really speak to, and I know she will inspire, our younger Eagles on Team Eagles. People like Brianna, who's been with us for a number of years, right, Brianna? But also some of the folks that are more recently joining us in that same age group. So because Kristen could not join us on a Monday night Zoom, she has 2 Monday night Zooms that she's already committed to, I decided we would take her up on her offer to join us, but it'll be this coming Sunday. So you'll hear more about that tomorrow. So without further ado, let me move to the topic for tonight. And let me share screen again. And this time, let me move to the next tab. So our topic tonight is stories. This is the new starter guide from thefreedomrevolution.com website. This is the bee's knees. This is absolutely fantastic. This is what I hope very soon everyone in the entire Juice Plus world will be using. And that means using this rather than anything that I have ever produced, because this is so much better. I showed you this last week. The homepage is for prospects. That's where we take folks who say, yeah, tell me more about your business. And guess what is featured at the homepage of thefreedomrevolution.com? It's our stories. The starter guide, when that new prospect of ours has watched some of these stories, they may be a medical professional, they might be an entrepreneur, they might be a teacher, they might be a prime timer like me, they might be military, current or past, they might be a professional, they might be an athlete, they might be a parent. When they've watched the stories that are appropriate to them, the stories that are most likely to get their attention from people who they can identify with, and they say, okay, let's do this, let's get started. Then you take them to the getting started section. Then you and they download the starter guide, which looks like this. There's the starter guide. And on page 15 is the guide to crafting, to writing, to producing the new team member's product story. 2 pages, and then further on, 2 pages to help them craft their business story. And then back to that getting started page at thefreedomrevolution.com. It's all videos, casting vision, making your list. Once the new team member has watched that video and talked to their sponsor about their vision for this business, but more importantly, that they have heard the sponsor's vision for this business, which hopefully will inspire their vision. Once they have started making their list, then what's next? The story, the product story, the business story. I want us to watch this.
Hi there, my name is Kim McCall.
And then we'll come back.
Today I have the privilege of covering one of my all-time favorite topics, sharing your product story. So before we do that, let's consider our mindset when we're sharing our product story. Our mindset is definitely not one of selling or convincing. Instead, we're putting ourselves in the mindset of truly inspiring and captivating. From the day you start your franchise, you have a personal story about why Juice Plus made sense to you. And now you're in an incredibly unique position of always being just one conversation away from possibly changing someone's life forever. It's exactly that mindset that will ultimately prove to be a huge contributor to your success. Now, for many of us, we start our franchise at the same exact time we start the Juice Plus Health Habit. That does not mean that you don't have a product story. It simply means you're going to start by sharing what you hope to experience by adding Juice Plus to your family's diet. Your product story might even touch on lifestyle changes. If you're someone who really loves and utilizes that Shred 10 program like I do. While developing your product story, absolutely embrace the reality that as Juice Plus franchise owners, we are never expected to be an expert on nutrition, on health, or on anything else. Our role is to simply be a resource that connects people to the experts and really just educate them on the fact that these raw, concentrated fruits and vegetables exist. Also remember that one of the reasons Juice Plus is the most widely researched nutritional product in the world is that it is not positioned as a cure to any particular or isolated condition. Instead, it's an extraordinarily convenient and cost-effective way to ensure that all of our families consume a much larger volume and wider variety of those fruits, vegetables, and berries each and every day. Dr. Richard Du Bois often says, and I love this, that there is no human condition that benefits from poor nutrition, and all human conditions can benefit from good nutrition. Think about that. Regardless of what someone's struggle is, improving nutrition and lifestyle could impact their condition in a positive and life-changing way. And by sharing your product story, you have a way to help them do exactly that. Now, like any good story, your product story will have a beginning, a middle, and an end, but it's only going to be about 45 to 60 seconds long. The beginning will communicate what life was like before you started Juice Plus and any negative emotions associated with any of those things that you were personally struggling with. The middle of your story identifies why Juice Plus made sense to you. People don't really care as much about what you're doing, they care about why you did it. And in the end of your product story, you're going to describe any changes that you and your family have experienced since adding Juice Plus. Or remember, if you're just getting started on the product, the changes you're hoping to experience. Share how these changes have affected the quality of your life and any emotional impact that they have. There are examples of product stories right next to this video. I'm going to quickly share my product story now. Make sure to listen for the beginning, the middle, and the end. But notice that it sounds both personal to me and organic as I'm talking. So about 10 years ago, I had just taken a class and learned why the human body requires at least 7 to 13 servings of produce every day. And that number totally and completely freaked me out because our family wasn't getting close to that. Another scary reality for me is our family history. Unfortunately, we have cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and stroke on both sides of our family tree. So at the time, I had a whole lot of fear and mom guilt going on. Then when I was pregnant with my son, a doctor shared Juice Plus, and it honestly made immediate sense. I loved that it was food and not a supplement. And knowing that you can't really feel prevention, I was super excited about the research. I was one of those people who wanted proof of what was happening on the inside. Since we started our family on Juice Plus, we've honestly had awesome improvements. A lot of energy all day, more coffee from my husband's work. I have a real question on all of us to maintain an ideal weight. As a runner, I had several joints, unfortunately, that have been in pain for years that don't hurt anymore. But honestly, the best of all of it for me as a mom is that I've just got that peace of mind, knowing that no matter what the day throws at me, I'm going to be able to flood my family with all those plants every single day to really hopefully prevent those scary, scary things in our family. So we absolutely swear by Juice Plus. Okay, that's my product story. Your assignment now is to develop your product story. What was life like before? Why did Juice Plus make sense to you? What has it done for your family, or what do you hope it will do? Open your starter guide and fill in the blanks for your product story. Then craft it into a paragraph that's very cohesive and authentic. Please remember that your product story does not need to be perfect right now. Because when you meet with your sponsor after going through these startup videos, your sponsor is going to sit down and help you tweak it. Also, your product story is going to evolve over the years as your health does. After working on your product story, be excited to learn from Michelle Ball, who's coming up next and is going to introduce sharing your business story. Just like our products are a tool that people can use to get healthy, our business is also a tool that people can utilize to change their lives forever as well. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Okay, I'm back. So, stories. I'm going to unmute everybody and then mute anybody who is making too much noise, but I want everybody to be able to participate. And I did warn you that I was going to ask for volunteers to share a story. So while you're thinking about volunteering, stories. Some of us have been around a long time, and so some of us will be able to attest to the fact. I'm not asking a volunteer yet, Sandy.
No, I've been around a long time. That's what I was
Yeah, you have been around a long time. But, quite a few of us have been around a long time. And we remember that stories have been an important part of the way we work this business for a very long time, but it's only in the last year or two that our events, our big events and our tiny events and everything in between have become more and more focused on sharing stories. So for instance, when we have someone sharing some information on the research, typically these days, it won't be a great in-depth presentation on the research, which is very powerful, but it can be deadly boring. But it will highlight one or more of our research, clinical research studies, and then it will share real human stories that are explained by the research, and vice versa. Real human stories that explain the research. And so the stories have become a critical part of who we are, our very DNA, what we do and how we do it at every level. And let me go back one more time to the Freedom Revolution website. And let me go back, if I can get back there. I want to show you
Hello, everyone.
this
My name is
just
Jeff Olson,
briefly.
and I'm so glad that you joined us.
I don't want
I'm
us to hear
excited
from Jeff. Most of us know
Division
Jeff
on
way too
college.
well.
Businesses allows me to get back.
By the way, that's Ricky Prohl, former NFL player and coach.
My name is Mary Monroe, and I used to be a very high-profile soccer player. In high school, I was selected to the U.S. Women's National Pool. I was recruited by every top Division I college across the country, and I ended up playing Pac-12 at Cal Berkeley. What I loved most about soccer was the lifestyle and mindset it equipped me with, the way it mentally stimulated me and constantly kept me in a position of growth and challenge. Unfortunately, my career ended in injuries. I was forced to hang up the shoes unwillingly, and as a result, I found myself in a huge identity crisis with big depression because at this point in my life, all I had known was soccer. With no other choice, however, but to move on, I chose accounting as my next direction and working as a bookkeeper to finish out college. Going from traveling every weekend to sitting behind a desk crunching numbers was a huge reality check. And I knew that I couldn't live this way for the rest of my life. I knew that I had to make a change. I literally felt like I was dying behind a desk. And to add to the confusion, at this point in my life, I got pregnant with my son my senior year of college, had him with just 3 months before I graduated. And at this point, I was completely lost and discouraged because I was fresh out of a school system that had brainwashed me to believe I had to go work corporate America full time to make good money. And my idea of being a mom was not sending my son to daycare full time. So I knew that things had to change, but I didn't know how they were going to. And it was at this point that I realized that even though sports was off the table, I craved the same fulfillment and satisfaction going forward in my life that soccer gave me. And that's when I crossed paths with the Juice Plus company. Not only did I get healthier and gain the ability to push my body physically again without limits, I caught the vision that this business opportunity was a better way for the lifestyle that I wanted to live and that I, in fact, could have it all. When I connected in my mind the science and research that backed Juice Plus, with the health crisis going on in our country, with the small percentage of people that actually know what it is, I knew that I had found an opportunity that would satisfy my soul in the way that I was craving. And now, because I said yes, I work where and when I want. I'm a full-time mom bringing in a paycheck. I get to travel at my own will. I get to love on and serve others in a big way. And most importantly, I celebrate the ability to be involved in an opportunity that challenges, stimulates, and pushes me both mentally and physically the same way that soccer did.
Well, thank you, everyone, for sharing your stories. And thank you.
Can anyone guess why I love that story?
Soccer.
Soccer! Woo! Brianna Kronwagi, you shouldn't identify with that story, but you should identify with the fact that she was a soccer player in college, right? No kidding. So what I want you to pick up from that was that she spent all her time sharing her business story. So this is another revolution that's gone on just in the last year or so, that the business story, the business, as it was put by more than one person at the Phoenix conference, the business is one more door. We have product doors and we have our virtual franchise business as another door that we can offer, a door through which someone can decide to walk. And so it's just as important that we are prepared to share our business story as our product story. And we are long past the point where we said, oh, let's keep them separate. Let's not mix our drinks, as our wonderful president, Jay Martin, used to say. Let's mix our drinks. let's bring the product and bring the business together to people that we think may need it, the business, the product, both. Okay, so let's open it up to everybody. Oh yeah, we've got a bunch of people join us after we started. Love it. Okay, so I would love someone to volunteer to share a story. It doesn't have to be as eloquent as the one you just heard, either of the ones you just heard. It could be a business story or a product story. But I do want to forewarn you that next Sunday night, Kristen Hilmer will spend a lot of time on her story, her long story, so that we can all learn from her journey to National Marketing Director in this business. On June the 4th, we will have none other than Catherine Lee. And Catherine will be on to share her full story. And that's going to be an absolute joy. After that, every Monday night, we're going to focus on stories plus. We'll have another topic, but every Monday night, I want to have one or two, at least one, preferably two people, volunteer to come on to share the story. Because guess what? Our storytelling is just the same as everything else we do. We only get good by practice. Perfect practice makes perfect. Now, we're not asking you to be perfect, but one of the best things that anyone has ever done was to keep sharing the story. Share it the first time you craft it. Share it with your sponsor. Give us a call. Share it with us. Share it with people who are close to you. Say, I need someone to practice on. Oh, what a very great way to spread the word about what you're doing and why. I want someone to practice on. Your best friend, your mom, your dad, your son, your daughter, any relative, any close friend. I need someone to practice on. What do you mean? Well, I've had to craft my story. I need to practice. I need to share my story. What are you doing? You're working the business. You're getting prospects because you're asking people to help you. Okay. Anybody want to volunteer?
I will.
Danita and Shannon. All right. Shannon, go first.
Okay. I'll share my product story. I guess 14 years ago, I was a camp counselor at a summer camp, and with my little son, who was 6 at the time. He was, I guess, in first grade. And I had a friend plop down while we were eating sloppy joes and canned fruit on these little plastic trays at the camp. And she plopped down her Juice Plus bottles. And I'm like, what is that? So she shared her story. And immediately I wanted that because I was looking at what we were eating and I knew what we were missing. And so I kept thinking, oh, this is exactly what I need for my family, for my kids. And so I got home from camp and started, we got on Juice Plus right away. We also immediately joined as distributors. So at the time, though, I had at least 4 to 5 sinus infections every year. Just after I got off one, 2 weeks later, I'd start with another one. I got every stomach bug that my kids brought home from school. So I kept thinking that the product was more for them. I was super excited about the health study, but I realized after a year of being on Juice Plus, I got sick one time. And so it didn't dawn on me until about a year into it. And then since I've been on Juice Plus for 14 years now, I think I've been to the doctor twice for sinus infections or anything, really. So it changed. I mean, my kids got healthy, I got healthy, and we've never looked back. So that's it.
Oh, that's fantastic, Shannon. Don't you love the way Shannon started that story? That was awesome. Anybody got any comments on Shannon's story? Because I thought it was spectacular.
I thought it was great.
What made it so great?
I like the way that someone was right there next to her that had her Juice Plus, and it showed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of sowed some seeds, didn't it, for the future?
It just goes to show that you can build this business anywhere at all, even if you're away at camp.
Okay, Danita, do you want to go next?
Yes, I can go.
We can't see you, though. Can you?
I have a little person with me, so.
Is that a problem? It's not a problem for us.
Yeah,
we love that little guy.
He's nursing.
Okay. Oh, well, that's a good reason. Okay, Danita, go ahead.
Okay. So I to Juice Plus, I was having like some menstrual issues. My cycle was off, and my friend had invited me. I didn't know anything about Juice Plus, but immediately I understood the concept. It made sense to me, and I signed up immediately. Not only did that problem rectify itself, shortly thereafter, I found out that I was pregnant. So that was really interesting for me because it was like months of 38-day, 45-day cycles, and it was scary. I'm just trying to get to the point, so I hope everybody understands what I mean. So then we were in love with Juice Plus. I took it as my prenatal all throughout my pregnancy, and due to me not working at the time and trying to juggle some other things, I stopped using the product. I kind of cut myself off from the business, and I always loved the product and tried to find something that was within my budget at the time to supplement, and it wasn't the same. And it was almost like this longing for Juice Plus. And I reconnected with Blue, and I met Amanda at Cornish Pasty. And it was just like, I want to get back into the business. And we connected, Blue and Amanda were just so kind and patient with me, because I think we stalled, I almost want to say, for a couple of years before I was able to get going. There were, some personal things in my life that took center stage that I just couldn't devote the focus that I'd like to. So thankfully, I was just really wanting a supplement for my child because he was over, I think maybe 1 or just turned 2, and I wanted to get him a good multivitamin because he was sick a lot. And we got our first shipment, and it was great to have it back in our lives. Still having like some financial issues. Once I was able to get back on my feet, I was like, you know what? Never again. Well, you're not getting off this product. I don't care what it takes. And eventually I had been working on some things, positive affirmations, wanting better for my life. And then came conference. And Blue had suggested, she put the bug in my ear, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sow the seed. I don't know what I'm going to get out of it, but I'm going to go. I'm going to set the intention to get something good out of it, and we'll see what happens. Lo and behold, I get to conference. We're probably like 2 hours in, and I was just like so full with enthusiasm and excitement. And I was like, I can't take it. I can't take this. It's too much. I'm ready to go home and start my business. But it was just the stories from and the training and things just started clicking. Now, here's the thing that got me. And I apologize that you guys can't see me because my hands are just flailing all over the place with excitement. But I had a bigger vision to help families who, because of income, cannot give their children the nutrition that they deserve because of their perception of how like they limit themselves based on their finances, the trajectory of how far they can advance in their life. And that frustrated me so much that somehow it clicked in me that Juice Plus for me is not so much the answer as the vehicle to the answer. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to plug this thing into my life, and I'm going to use this as the fuel to catapult myself to help people. It's Juice Plus for me is my vehicle. And because it made sense to me, I took that. Since then, I've really been working on how can I expand this. Juice Plus to me makes sense because it's the answer to health. I had the awareness that the quality of your health or the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your health. So if we are trying to do big things, but we're not taking care of our bodies and our minds, we're going to be limited on how much we can accomplish. And so I'm using that as my platform on how to reach people, wanting to have events that are centered around getting people to value their lives based. Yes, dear. Mommy's talking. I know. Give me a moment. Okay, hold on, please. I'm almost there. So that's my big thing. It was important for me to discover my why. Mommy's talking. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop here.
Danita, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening.
So that's a long version of a story, but Danita can get away with that. Do you know why? Because of her passion and her enthusiasm, and because she's thought this through. And by the way, the other part, Danita, never lose this part out of your story. You came to love Juice Plus. You had some financial difficulties, so you got off it. You tried to find an alternative, and you realized what you are missing, not having the Juice Plus products in your life. That's huge. That makes for a fantastic story. No, you weren't long-winded. We love you, girl. Next time we want to see you, though, because we got to meet and got to know Danita down at Phoenix, Amanda and Paul's on Saturday night at the end of the conference. And honestly, that was a sheer delight getting to know you. You're a blessing, huge blessing. Okay, thank you both, Shannon and Danita, for getting us started, sharing stories. Before Jenny closes us out, does anyone have any questions or comments at all? Does anyone doubt how important the stories are?
Hey, Mick, can you hear me?
Yes, Brianna.
I just want to say congratulations. I know that Tara and I both have our new reps on, so I just want to thank Susan and Carson for getting on for their first call.
Woohoo!
Welcome.
Welcome indeed. I can't see them. Oh, I can see Carson. That should be Carson, right? Not Corson? Or is that how you spell it? Carson's iPhone.
No, that's correct. It's supposed to be Carson, but
Carson.
It's her mom. Yeah. Her mom did that. So.
Oh, okay.
Allie's on as well.
Cool. Hey, good to see you. Good to meet you. Okay, glad you're here. Okay, thanks, Brianna. Thanks, Tara. Welcome. So those of you who missed it at the very beginning, this coming Sunday, not Monday, Sunday, we will have Kristen Hilmer, new Millennial National Marketing Director from Carbondale, Colorado, just down the road from us. Join us to share her story. And then on June the 4th, Catherine Lee, the wonderful Catherine Lee, will be our guest to share the whole thing. Amanda?
What time on Sunday?
Same time, 6 your time, 7 our time. Yep. Just 24 hours earlier than normal because Kristen cannot do a Monday night. But I don't want you to miss her. She is fantastic. Okay, Jenny, do you want to close this out?
Yes, absolutely. And it's so good to see so many new faces. You know, as some of you were talking there, I was just jotting down some names. And alongside, I've written in quotation marks, the next generation. And I truly believe that many of you on tonight's call are the next generation in Juice Plus. You know, we've been around a long time. We're old. This business is for the youngsters these days. And I know many of you certainly fit the bill there. So we're thrilled to see you. We're excited for you. We can tell you that it's an exciting business, that it can be hard work at times. We keep it fun. And the rewards are absolutely incredible. So thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again and many more, hopefully, on Sunday evening. Same time, same place. Good night, everybody.
God bless. Make it a great Juice Plus week.